Hello, Gemini. Sorry about that. All the readings. So Sagittarius season wants you diligently focused on what's really actually important. How very cliche Christmas advice, it's just keeping your head down, moving forward. Very similar to Pisces, actually, but yours will, because if you do that, you'll see that, like, you'll get the justice that you want in certain ways in your life, without you having to do it. Like, that, but, like, because you've put something out there and you really need, some type of justice or a change in scenario, it's just kind of like patiently waiting at this point, or as you move forward into the month, because that's what's going to free you from any mental combustion. And also, if you can, take some time to do whatever it is that helps you clear your mind. Like, even if you have to shut off every fucking device for like a moment, you get that one moment, like 20 minutes to your day, and learning and remembering not to worry that, no one's going to die during that time. No one's going to call you during that time. And if you do, you'll get, like, if something crazy does happen, again, I'm very, like, sorry to hear that, for sure. But just knowing that that's what's going to keep your ability to continue this progress. You want that, you find that whatever's been kind of holding you back from moving forward or expanding, you get the gist of what it is as things move into as different planets move into Capricorn, but becomes very, very apparent by the time Jupiter moves into Aries on the 20th, and that's when we are about to enter Capricorn season. You will notice that certain lights will be shown upon where it is that you can no longer do things alone, where you have succeeded, but now it's time to start to meld it together, or partner, whether it's romantically or in a career, or you will need to learn more about something and something's brought to you very easily. It could be by a Leo. You may find that this month is a little bit harder to navigate, considering there's so much there's going to be going from this very depth of nature's water, the very depth of our emotions, in this place where you notice how everyone around you is acting somewhat different or out of sorts. And then we go, Venus moves into Capricorn on the 9th, so right after your full moon. So therefore, once that happens, you may be pulled externally to do things, but you need to remind yourself about what's really, again, important this month, and how that feeling of luck, or that feeling of momentum, or that feeling of things are moving, you remember how you're acting, or how you're feeling in those moments, especially in your body. What you can no longer be afraid to let go of, what you can no longer, like, stand beside. You need to roam. You need to let your mind roam in a way where it's not causing you to think too much or overthink. Think too much, overthink, the same thing. Not overthink, but a place where you can actually roam in your mind. That's the beauty about Sagittarius season for you. And what you may find there is that what's been causing certain views of you to be seen a certain way is because there's still parts of you where you need to, like, acknowledge some hurts. And that's what helps you roam in your mind. Like this month, it's not so heavy. It's more like you're going to go there because you want to expand. You're going to go there. Hold on one second. Because you want to let go. Come on. Where are you going, Cece girl? So one of my cats is on the counter because of my plants. So you will notice that the more you allow yourself to expand and feel good, and you're doing great, you'll also might find that there's somewhat of an attachment to where your threshold is. And Capricorn season will help you, and the placements we're doing into Capricorn, especially Venus, will help you realize that, where you need a little bit more rest, or even to put those thoughts to rest. Because it's just because you're thinking about it doesn't mean you're gonna, like, well, for you maybe you will figure it out, but it doesn't mean you're going to figure it out in the way that it actually makes sense. You can go down one way of thinking and only ask certain questions, or you can allow that to pass by like a moving cloud, somewhat like meditation, and then know that it will come back to you in the right timing. And that's that karma, that's that Libra justice energy, this very bright light upon what and how you are viewed from a perspective from afar has become very apparent in your mind. By the 7th, the Gemini full moon will show you where your energy has been maybe wasted, but it doesn't actually make you feel any type of way. You're good at, being flexible and moving on, and that's what you'll need to do, because you'll find even more flexibility there. You may have to say or deliver some words or like some type of situation where you might need to make things very realistic for someone. It could be a Taurus. It could be you receiving this information, but for most of you, I think, for most of you, I think you're receiving this information. You might be hearing words from a Taurus in terms of like, they're questioning why you doubted them or what it is, or they're coming to you and asking you like, where is this doubt coming from now? Like, asking you the right questions, like how that you've been working on for this whole month. And that's maybe the only answer you can give them, is like, I'm working on it still. I'll have it like somewhat of an answer for you. And then you find that you're easily able to deliver this news or that answer, or because once Mercury moves direct towards the middle of Capricorn season, Neptune will be direct, Jupiter will be direct in Aries, and it starts to make sense. What you feel starts to make sense. You realize, like, you don't know. Like, air signs, it's like an air sign thing. Like, we don't always know right away. Like, we know how we initially feel, but we know we also, like, are dramatic at first and then needing to fizzle out. And sometimes we're right on the nose, and, like, it's perfect timing to say the thing that you're feeling in that moment, regardless of whatever's happening, but you don't really know, you know exactly how you feel, or you're processing and you're kind of waiting to know how you feel. And this person can also evoke something within you to say something more meaningful, to use your words maybe in a more meaningful way, because Mars is in Gemini in retrograde for a while. And it's giving you an opportunity to hash out some situations, even within meditation. I've actually been saying this to a few people lately too, where you can have these conversations in your mind first and notice if that's all you need. Instead of trying to force someone to see your view or apologize or tell you what you need or want to hear, you go into the space where it's safe to explore. This exploration of the mind, like meditation, being with space. It's something I would say in yoga a lot, is like being with space, like learning to see what this space has to offer you. And it sounds like, it can sound bizarre, but it's also about like, what is your higher power? What is your source? What does God have to say to you? You know, like, so that your vision and like can become this place, this playing field. And sure, doubts will arise, but you have so much more control of your own emotional strength. Like it's just like anything you're trying to quit. It's the same thing as within. It's like, okay, so if you're doing your best to be more disciplined with how you're speaking or how you're communicating with people, just for this situational example, it can feel very agitating at first to hold back. Because you're like, why am I holding back right now? Just ask yourself if it's necessary. How much you actually lose when you let it out all the time. It's a fire season. You can lose a lot of energy. And then we go into an earth season where, do you only want to sleep during Capricorn season? Like, you might need to a lot, but is that all you want to do? Because you're going to want to do things where you're going to need a lot of there's going to be a need for mental fortitude next month. And Sagittarius season isn't going to tell you to stop. You know, you have to tell yourself to stop or go in the moment. So I would pay attention to that and who gives you more energy and who you need to be around without there being any lack of energy or lack of resources. You may discover what's held you back or held you in lack mentality through this process of feeling, you know, through the agitation. The other side of it is peace. Like, it doesn't have control over you any longer. And oh my God, freedom. Even more freedom in your mind to create. Even more worth to gain. And then maybe you want to say some things because enough is enough. And then you set out on a vision quest, a place where you can roam around and allow things you may not even known to appear, whether they're within the mind at first and then maybe life. Physical form will start to take place around you next month, so learning to be more receptive can be a beneficial way to be this month. Instead of just going for it, going after it, be receptive to what's being presented to you so you can go with what is needed, mutable. All right, Gemini? See you next month.